Hello and welcome back to Bookish, and welcome back to a late but really quick Saturday hodgepodge for this week. As you know, if you've been watching my channel, I've been on vacation in Scotland for the last 7 to 10 days, depending on how you want to count. And we just got back last night, Friday night, really early Saturday morning. And so I'm filming this on a Saturday afternoon instead of like on a Friday like normal. But I thought I would come and give you a quick update, show you a little bit of a piece of our trip, and kind of just talk about just a few things, and then just let that be it. But get back in the swing of videos. I thought I would do this. Reading-wise, not a lot has happened because I have a hard time reading on vacation. We did a lot of hiking on vacation, and I was really tired. Drove a lot while I was in Scotland, which was nerve-wracking for me because driving on the left side of the road, nerve-wracking for my wife because I was driving on the left side of the road. My son, who went with us, was asleep in the back seat, probably in the best psychological condition of any of us, but we did a lot of driving, so I was really tired and didn't get a lot of reading done. I did finish one of my BookTube prize books. That was the fourth of the BookTube prize books, and I started on the fifth BookTube prize book, and I'm feeling pretty good about getting my BookTube prize reading done because the last book that I saved is the shortest. I think it's less than 200 pages. So I'm pretty confident in that. All my other reading has just kind of gone by the wayside. I still am only like 120, 130 pages into the Hemmings of Monticello, and I haven't read any more mysteries from March Mystery Madness after reading the Georges Simenon book, which I talked about earlier. So, all those kind of readathons, read-alongs. Oh, the Her Story Project, I haven't picked up any of the Her Story books that I have, but that's kind of been what's going on. And I did a few bookish things, so I put together a little bookish package that goes beyond the short that I put out while I was away, kind of showing the two bookstores I went to and one other bookish site. And so I'll leave that package for you right here.
Okay, well, we went on vacation to Scotland, and so I did stop in a few bookish places. The first is Leakey's Bookshop here in Inverness, which is kind of like the dream used bookstore, I guess, with the kind of owner who literally has thousands and thousands of books and knows everything he actually owns, and they're just kind of stacked up all over the place. It's in a really old building, which to me kind of looked like a church, but at one time or something, but it's now been fully converted to this bookshop, which was just awesome. And there's a wood-burning stove and, all these little warrens of books, and it's narrow and crowded and musty smelling and, everything you want to use a bookstore to be. We went to Edinburgh. We searched for quite some time for the Scottish Writers' Museum, and we finally found it. And in this really kind of cool-looking close, which is this little closed neighborhood, has a floor for Robert Louis Stevenson here. We could look at, Robert Louis Stevenson's books and his pictures. I love Stevenson's Treasure Island and Kidnapped, and I read The Black Arrow this year, and so that was really cool. His floor, there's a floor for Stevenson, one for Burns, and one for Walter Scott. His floor is downstairs. I thought didn't seem very fair. The Robert Burns floor is on the second floor, and it's a little bit nicer. If you ever wanted to see Robert Burns, fork and knife, or his bumbershoot, there you go, all in a little case. And then an actual, manuscript, a poem that he wrote. And that was pretty cool. I didn't go to the Walter Scott floor because I haven't read Scott. This is Flesh Market Close, which is the title of an Ian Rankin Inspector Rebus novel. We just happened to walk by it, and I thought it'd be cool. And this is us walking down Victoria and Bow Street, which is really downhill to get to Armchair Books. It's a really tiny bookstore, which has just books stacked everywhere, and is really cool. So that's pretty much the extent of the bookish stuff I did. Small place.
So I don't do book hauls on my channel, but since people have asked me, what I bought at the bookstores where I went, I have a fairly random set of books. Both bookstores I went to were used bookstores, and if I don't go into a used bookstore with a plan, I just buy things that seem kind of random. Probably the least random thing that I bought was a biography of Robert Burns, The Tender Heart, by Hugh Douglas. I bought this at Leakey's, the first bookstore he showed there. It only seemed appropriate. I was looking for a book about a Scottish writer, and so there you go. And then for whatever reason, this copy of The Normans, The Conquest That Changed the Face of Europe, also caught my attention, and so I bought that at Leakey's. And then at Armchair Books, I was really hoping to find kind of an old but not too expensive copy of Trollope's The Small House at Allingham. Is that the name of it? Which would be the next book in the Barchester Chronicles I had to read, and that, of course, is the one book they didn't have. I found one at Leakey's, but it was like $150 more than I was willing to spend. But I did find a copy of George Gissing's New Grub Street at Armchair Books in Edinburgh, and I read this as an ebook this Victober, and I really, really liked it. And I've been looking for the Oxford Classics edition to match my Oxford Classics edition of his book, The Odd Women, and I found a copy of that, so I went ahead and bought a physical copy there. And those are all the books that I bought. To kind of update you on what's going on with me and writing, you may know that I was have been working on pretty much since I had this channel, a military history of the division that my uncle served in during World War II and fought in the Pacific. And I did at first have a rejection from the first publisher I sent it to, and then I was contacted while I was away on vacation by an editor, suggesting that if I reworked it, the book might be something they'd be interested in. So I'm going to be looking into that. That's pretty encouraging news, even though it does mean kind of restructuring the entire way in which the book was written, but I am really looking forward to getting to that. If you may have noticed by now that I'm wearing a hat. I don't think I normally wear a hat in my videos. On my trip to Scotland, I avoid cheesy, tourist trap kind of souvenir shops, and we've done a really good job. We're in Edinburgh on our last day, and I hadn't seen anything, that even remotely attracted my attention or made me want to buy it until we went to an ice cream shop, and there was a little girl wearing this hat. And I know what you're thinking. You're not a little girl, Brian from Bookish. You shouldn't wanted that hat. But it was instantly, that's exactly what I wanted. So we searched around a little bit until I found this hat, and so I intend on wearing this hat on every occasion possible. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm going to get down to doing some serious reading these last, 12, 13 days, whatever day it is, of March that we have. Do some serious reading, try to, catch back up on all the things I've fallen behind on. But other than that, that's it for this week. So I look forward to your comments in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.